What's more important, the journey or the destination? Actually, it's the company. Journey to Well, the podcast, was birthed with the intention to cultivate relationships. You can expect a plethora of conversations on nervous system regulation, breathwork, human design and astrology, cycle alignment, energy and spirituality, and honestly, so much more. But the heart of this community is to witness the journey back home to ourselves, rediscovering our innate power within. I couldn't be more honored to take this journey with you. Be well, my friend, and enjoy today's episode. Hello, welcome to July. Welcome to Cancer season. We've been in it for a while, but I have not done a solo podcast episode in a while as well, and I wanted to come hang out. I would love to spend the next 30-ish minutes with you talking about life, challenging some perspectives and questions. As always, I love bringing in astrology and human design and numerology into our conversation, aligning to our cycle, whether that's the universal cycle that we're going through with astrology, like being in Cancer season, which we'll chat about, or aligning to our seasonal cycle of being in summer. It is hot as hell this week that I'm recording. And I hope that you all are holding up. You're making it. Do you love summer? Do you hate summer? I'm curious. So, in today's solo podcast episode, I wanted to bring up a couple things that have really been on my mind, in my heart, coming up in conversations of other podcast guests and friends and coaching clients, of really settling into this season of Cancer, which Cancer is represented by the crab. Right? So if you think of the images of a crab, or maybe even some things that crabs are associated with, one of those things that crabs are associated with, and turtles as well, is carrying their home with them. Crabs have that hard outer shell. Turtles have that hard outer shell. And Cancer season is really asking us to reconnect with what feels like home. And this is one of my favorite questions because I had quite a journey, a roller coaster around home. A few years ago now, when I left my engagement and really felt kind of the world as I knew it, and the trajectory that I thought my life was going on was stripped away. When we have these moments where we're stripped away, whether that's losing a job, whether that's starting a new job, moving cities, having a kid, having our kids go off to college, entering a new relationship, losing a relationship, or ending a relationship. When we have these moments of an invitation to reflect, is really what it is at the end of the day, we also have this invitation to reflect on who we are, what our values are, what's important to us, what our strengths are. And when I had that kind of crossroads moment, I ended up moving houses a lot in the following 2 years. And one of the questions that really came up to me that I was able to meditate on is, what is home? And now fast forward that I have been living in New Hampshire. Oh my gosh, I think will this be 3 years in August? I moved back to New Hampshire. I think it must be, maybe this is 2 years. I should probably go look. I think this might be 2 years, or this will be coming up on my 3rd year back in New Hampshire. Back back where I grew up, where I went to high school, I lived in New Hampshire State my whole life, but I moved towns when I went into 7th grade. I moved from Hollis, New Hampshire to Dover, New Hampshire, and I've lived in New Hampshire my whole life. My family lives within like 30 minutes of each other, my immediate family. And now I have this really beautiful opportunity to reflect on what does home feel like for me in this season? Because years ago, one of my journeys was really discovering I am home, the home within myself. Home was not a location. Home was within people. And I still very much feel that. I think discovering what does home within yourself feel like? How can you create more safety, awareness, opportunity for growth and comfort and grace within yourself, in your mindset, in your body, in your emotions, in your everyday life? And then also, how can you create more of a sense of what home is in its essence, in its emotions, in its colors, in its furniture, in its sensations? What does home feel like for you? What relationships feel like home to you? That's my favorite question because there are people in your life, and it may be family, it may not be family, but there's people in your life that just feel like home to you, feel like coming home. And really, the other thing that we can really ask and journal on or ponder within ourselves, and I hope that you take this with you after you turn off this podcast and marinate on it a little bit, is those people that feel like home, why? Why do they feel like home? Those things that feel like home, why do they feel like home? For me, one of those ponderings is the word that comes up for me is safety. So the people that feel the safest feel like home to me. And then we can go another level deeper. What is safety? What does safety mean? What is your definition of safety? And one thing that I've really been pondering a lot lately, I keep saying the word ponder. I'm sorry about that. One thing that I've been processing a lot is safety to me is the ability to show all of myself to that person and really creating that safety within yourself. Can you show all of yourself to yourself? Can you create an environment, and I'm not just talking about a physical environment, girlfriend. Can you create an environment where you feel safe and you feel that you have the capacity to hold all of you? That means your dense emotions. That means your vulnerability. That means your scaredness. That means your happiness and your joy and your elation. That means your curiosity. We can't expect another person to hold us if we can't hold ourselves. We can only meet others how deeply we've met ourselves. And that's something that's really been coming up for me a lot. I have a podcast episode coming up later this month, I believe, or early in August, that I got real vulnerable because there's been a lot of excavation happening in my life on vulnerability. And a lot of relationships I have, I don't know that I've been showing up or allowing myself to be completely vulnerable, 100% vulnerable. And not that all relationships need that, right? Because there's a lot of relationships like your work relationships, like sometimes familial relationships, sometimes friendships. There's not all relationships should require or need 100% vulnerability, but there should be some. And what I've really been excavating is how vulnerable I am with myself, not just in a mental capacity, because I can analyze, overthink, process, bring awareness to so many pieces of my unconscious, my conscious, different parts of myself, but to then embody that vulnerability, to show up and hold yourself and allow yourself to feel really fucking sad, to allow yourself to go through those grief processes, whether that's of losing someone, of losing a job, of not being where you thought you were, of whatever it is. It's holding yourself in that. It's holding yourself in the uncertainty, because no matter where you are in life, there are things that are uncertain. Actually, a lot of life comes with a lot of uncertainty. Nothing's really certain. It's holding yourself in that and embodying that comfortability and safety within the unknown, within the uncomfortable situations. Another thing that's been coming up for me a lot lately, is getting reacquainted with being uncomfortable in and being really getting comfortable with the discomfort. Um, that's one of the benefits, like, small examples of this would be cold plunges or learning something new. I started salsa dancing and I highly, highly recommend it. And I want to call out my friend, my best friend, one of my best friends. She came up with the idea. So it's not me at all. But she's like, hey, you want to take this salsa dancing classes? And I'm like, sure. And absolutely fell in love with it. And that's just a premium example of getting comfortable in the discomfort and then really embracing it and loving it. I am not a great salsa dancer. There's so much that I have left to learn, but I really am enjoying that journey and learning to settle into the journey of not knowing all of the steps, all of the moves, knowing that I look kind of silly most of the time, probably all of the time, but getting comfortable in the discomfort. When was the last time that you purposefully put yourself in this uncomfortable situation? And that could be physical situations. I'm not saying don't be safe. I'm saying allow yourself to be uncomfortable. So cold plunges, talking to someone that you don't know at a coffee shop, giving yourself the opportunity to learn something new or take a new class, challenging yourself to lift a little bit heavier, run a little bit further, try a new food, whatever it is. When was the last time that you did that? Or when was the last time that you allowed yourself to be uncomfortable within yourself? Maybe it is holding the emotion. It could be holding a really light emotion, but holding it with such reverence and honor. Like, I am just so grateful right now for this season of life or this moment. Maybe it's not a season, maybe it's not a chapter, maybe it's a moment. I am so freaking grateful that I can take this walk in this park and really absorb the flowers and the smells and the sounds and the sunlight on my face and the wind through my hair. Or maybe it's holding yourself in the uncomfortable. Can I allow myself to process that grief? Can I allow myself to process the thing that feels really vulnerable? And you don't always have to bring it up to someone else. A lot of times, at least for me, I will just speak for myself, bringing it up to someone else and talking about it sometimes, not all the time, sometimes can be a way to just continually mentally process it and not actually embody and spiritually fully accept it and move through the processing process of feeling it and allowing yourself to feel vulnerable. And sometimes we do need someone else to hold us through it. Those safe relationships, again, coming back to this idea of home. What feels like home to you? What people, what places, what smells, what sights, what experiences, what memories feel like home to you? The other question that we can ponder in this Cancer season and even this summer season is, what am I spending my energy on in things that no longer fit who I am becoming? One of the things that I've been really just like mind boggled and blown about is I had this situation come up the other day of, I've always said I hate surprises. It's not that I hate surprises, actually. It's that I hate knowing that I'm going to be surprised. So I actually love surprises. I also think that it's really difficult to surprise me because I'm pretty intuitive. I also am quite like attention or like detail oriented, and I pay attention a lot. So like if you say something like, I don't know, what I have dinner plans on July 5th, and then the next time we're talking and you're like, "Oh, I have dinner plans on July 6th," I'd be like, "Wait, you said 5th the last time." So, it is historically difficult to surprise me. Not saying impossible, but I'm not the easiest person to surprise. But I remember when I was a kid, my mom, like I vividly remember this specific example where my sister and I got in the car after school and my mom said, "I have a surprise for you tonight. We're driving somewhere." And what I hated, actually what I do hate, is not the surprise, it's the being patient part. And I've always said that I hate knowing that a surprise is going to happen because then you have to wait for it. Like if you come up to me and you say, "Hey, I have a surprise for you next weekend." Well, today is Monday. Now I have to wait 5 days to get to this surprise, and I have to be patient, and so I end up asking a bunch of questions and trying to figure it out, and then I part of the time, I end up ruining the surprise for myself, and the other part of the time, the person just gives in because they're tired of all my questions. But I had this opportunity present itself where I was hanging out with a friend and they were like, "I have a few ideas of what we can do this day when we hang out. Um, it's gonna be really fun." I don't remember exactly what they said. And I was met with this excitement of not knowing what was happening. And this was like a week away, same example. Maybe it was a Monday or something, and or maybe it was a Tuesday, and we were hanging out on Saturday. And I went to my other friend and I was like, "I think I'm changing. I think I've changed. I think I might like surprises now." And even as we're talking about it, I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. Surprise me. Like, come tell me that we're hanging out, that we're getting dinner, and don't tell me where we're getting dinner. I need a few details, like what should I wear? What time is it? But don't tell me where we're getting dinner." I still do stand behind, I would rather not know the surprise is coming, but the point is, what I realized was that I think I might like surprises now, where I have spent 30 years, okay, probably like 26, 24. I've spent all of my life telling people that I don't like surprises. And how this ties into stop spending energy on things that no longer fit who we're becoming is this question of becoming. What does becoming mean? Who are you becoming? And not who do you think you were becoming? Do an audit right now or when you hang up, when we hang up this phone call, when you get off this podcast, when you finish this podcast. I invite you to do an audit of your goals. Where are you going? Who are you becoming? Is it aligned with who you want to be becoming? Is it different from who you thought you were becoming 2 years ago? Because the thing is, the only constant is change. We are always changing. We are always evolving. Every 7 years, we're a completely new anatomical person. Our skin cells have renewed, our insides have renewed, all of us, our brain patterns, our thinking, they've shifted. Every day you're a new person, and that's really beautiful. Maybe a little lofty for some people to hear, but the point is, we are always becoming. But are you being mindful of who you're becoming? And the invitation is to really audit, is it still aligned? Is this path that I'm on still aligned? One of the things that I probably talked in my last solo podcast episode about is us being in this 1 year in numerology, also in the fire horse year. And what feels so poignant and what's coming up over and over in podcasts and coaching clients and friend conversations in the collective that I'm hearing is that it feels very wild. This energy of this year feels a little chaotic. And there's maybe a lot of hits that you're taking. Maybe there's a lot showing up for you. But what the overarching commonality is that there's a lot of this like spinny energy, like kind of this hamster on a wheel. And if you feel like you're this hamster on a wheel or you're just running really quickly in a direction, I invite you to take 2 seconds, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, however long you need to think about and really look at the path that you are running down. It's beautiful that you're running. It's beautiful that you are moving quickly, and that's the energy of this year. Whether you feel like you're moving quickly or not, the energy of the fire horse is this forward trajectory. It's fiery, it's passionate, it's energetic. If you think of like a wild stallion, like they are unbroken, they are passionate, they are fast, they can run so quickly it's hard to catch them. And it's really easy to run in a direction or on a path that may not feel aligned anymore. And if we don't pause and think about who we're becoming, we can't even get to that second part of the invitation of stopping to of halting, spending energy on things that no longer fit. Maybe I do like surprises now. And so not spending my energy on trying to figure out the surprise. Can I allow myself to just be surprised? Can I allow that pleasure, that joy, that excitement, that curiosity, that intrigue? I wonder where we're going to dinner. I wonder what we're doing this day. To stop spending energy on things that no longer fit who we are in this moment. Because who you were last year, again, whether you really realize it or not, but collectively we went through this shedding of the shape of the snake skin. Sorry, that was a tongue twister. We went through this shedding of the snake skin. The ending of cycles, the 9-year in numerology is the last number. We were in the year of the snake last year. What are you shedding? What did you shed? What cycles have come to a close? This is the 1 year is all about leadership, about expansion. One in numerology can also be a little bit like addictive personality. What am I addicted to? Can I challenge that? So go home tonight, ponder it. Who am I becoming? Who am I becoming through my actions that maybe is more robotic? What trajectory am I on through my actions and what my everyday looks like right now? And does that align with who I want to be becoming? Does that align with my life goals right now? Does that align with what feels like home to me in this moment, right here, right now? It's really this opportunity to take in a little bit of information about your life. And one of the benefits really that I have seen in my life of these reflection processes is to use tools like human design. You can look at your human design, do a little deep dive, even if it's just a 30-minute podcast that you're listening to, or asking a few questions on Google or whatever, going on the Align app or the My Human Design app, learning a few new pieces about the way that you are created. Is that aligned with who I want to be becoming right now? Also, look at this cyclical nature. Like, am I feeling aligned in this summer energy? Am I feeling aligned in this wild horse 1 year, this fire horse 1 year? These are all ways where we can begin to curiously approach where we are right now and see if that feels aligned. I will also say, if you're aligned right now or not. And I'll also say to that, more than likely, you are aligned in some areas of your life and not aligned in others. And so celebrate those areas, those seasons, these chapters, these moments of your life where you feel really aligned. Take a moment to really fully embody that juiciness. And then take a little bit of time to reflect on, this is where I don't feel aligned right now. What things do I need to stop spending my energy on so that creates more space for me to spend my energy on what I want to be spending my energy on? And energy is not just actions, it's also thoughts, it's actions, it's emotions. Hmm. Just some ponderings, my friend. I hope that you are having a fantastic summer season. Summer is like our ovulation phase. It's all about getting out, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying your people, trying new things, maybe trying to hit that record or that PR. That's all ovulation energy. It's like our peak performance. And it also comes with this beautiful opportunity to create moments of rest and recharge, moments of coolness in the heat. You can't be out in the heat all day long. Like right now, gosh, it's 100 degrees out. Can't be walking around outside all day long. You can enjoy it for a bit, but you better come back inside. Take some time to reflect. Take some time to get some nice, cool water. Maybe do a cold plunge. Ah, I hope this resonated with you. I would love to continue the conversation within Instagram DMs. Reach out to me. What resonated? What didn't? What do you need follow-ups on? What perspectives of mine can you challenge? I love being introduced to different perspectives too. So I would love to further connect with you. Thank you for being part of this community, part of this tribe. I'll see you soon, my friend. Be well. Thank you so much for being here. Truly, your support and love is the foundation of this community and this podcast. If you find yourself in a season of life ready to explore your inner landscape deeper, or perhaps you feel like you've tried all the things and nothing has worked, here's your gentle invitation to come back home. Align and Embody is my signature coaching container that is created to explore our soma, our living wholeness. Perhaps the answers you seek truly do live within. You just need to learn the communication of your body. Align and Embody combines the 3 pillars of my business: human design, somatic breathwork, and cycle alignment. Head to the link in this description to learn more, or better yet, reach out on Instagram @_journey-to-well. I'd be honored to connect with you. Be well on this journey, my friend. Talk soon.